Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am going to do a really quick book haul for you today, and I know it's been some time and I've been gone, but I have been shopping and I'm going to share that with you guys today. All the things that I have purchased so that I can read during my quarantine. All right, so the first one was sent to me by the publisher. It's called The American Crusade by Mark Spivak. And so, with this story, this is a political thriller, and it talks about a terrorist act that happens at the Mall of Georgia, and the vice president tries to use this terrorist attack as a way to overthrow the current president, who is probably not as good of a president as he should be. So, that's going to be a good one, and it kind of bleeds into real life. All right, so the next one that I have is Tarryn Fisher, The Wives. If you know anything about Tarryn Fisher, then you know she doesn't play about her twists in her stories. This story talks about a woman who realizes that she is in a polyamorous relationship with her husband, that she knows that he has other wives, but what she doesn't really realize is that one day she finds the name of one of the other wives because they are not allowed to know each other. Once she finds that name, she tracks this wife down and realizes that her husband has been beating the hell out of his other wife. And she wants to know, who is the man that she really married? Gonna be good. All right, the next one that we have is 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson, another author that is tried and true. You can't go wrong with this author with his twists and turns. So, with this story, you're going to follow an author who is writing best-selling novels, who is actually getting a serial killer to follow every novel that he writes. So, this should be a really good one. Next one is Sherry Lapina, An Unwanted Guest. And so this one here is kind of your typical caught out in the woods with a snowstorm and someone dies type of story, right? So I think for one, you're going to get a lot of suspense, a lot of character driven writing in order to make you think it was a person when it may not be that person. So I really like books like this, so I completely gravitated towards it immediately. All right, now we're on to romance. I don't typically do romance, right? So Get a Life, Chloe Brown is by Talia Hibbett. And so with this one, let me tell you the reason why I picked this up. I'm not even going to lie to you right now. The reason I picked this up is because you have a BBW on it and she is in love, okay? That is amazing. That's number one. Number two, the fact that the book is not about her being BBW, right? And so I think that that's really unique. I love to read stories like that don't have the typical blonde hair, blue eyed, falling in love with the bad boy type. So this should be really good and different for me. The next one that I have is Tricks by Ellen Hopkins. And so Ellen Hopkins writes her novels in a poetic form. So you'll find a lot of poetry all the way throughout. And so don't get scared that it's a pretty thick book. Okay, because you're going to fly through these pages because they're in a certain type of verse that she writes in. This is going to follow 5 teenagers and their plight of falling in love and having sex and kind of figuring out how that relates to their freedom and who they are as a person. And so from what it says on the back, they all kind of meet in the middle at the end of the book. The next one that I have is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and this one is by Holly Jackson. Now, with this book, it really captured me because the cover is amazing, and then after that, you start seeing some of the details in this novel, right? So the one things that I really just loved about it was the fact that it follows this teenager who is doing a final project. And a part of her final project is to open up this investigation or research this investigation about a murder that occurred at her school where a boy was sentenced for killing this girl. And it never really sat right with her, the details of the case. And so she uses her final project as a way to kind of research this case. Of course, some things are awry and she starts digging up some stuff that may kind of put her in danger. The next one we have is Golden Child by Claire Adam. This one I'm so excited about because it's about a father who has two sons. One son becomes missing in the woods, and as he goes out to find this son, something happens to where he has to make a choice between his two sons. And this is basically the book about how he comes up with choosing between his two boys. Another romance novel that I picked up was The Wedding Date. I'm sorry, The Wedding Party. The Wedding Date is already out. This is The Wedding Party. And so this one is by Jasmine Guillory. And with this book, I love the fact that there are two warring sides of this wedding party where they hate each other but end up being completely attracted to each other. And ultimately, I believe they're going to fall in love and shock everybody. All right, the next one we have is Cross Her Heart by Sarah Pinborough. If you know anything about Sarah Pinborough, then you know that she's also a very twisty psychological writer. And so her books are ones that I automatically pick up anyway, just because I know what I'm going to get from her and I know it's going to be something that I really enjoy. So this book is about two friends, Marilyn and Lisa, who have a past together. Lisa has a daughter named Ava who's a teenager who really just wants to kind of get out there and be free. But from whatever happened in Lisa's past, she's kind of in hiding, and so she doesn't let Ava kind of live her life. Unbeknownst to her, Ava's a teenager and does what the hell she wants to do in a very sneaky way. And so now both Lisa and Marilyn have to kind of help Ava when she gets into some trouble. The next one I have is by J. Edward Hackett, and this is The Flight of the Ravenhawk. And this is a high fantasy novel with dragons and wizards and treason. So you know that that's going to be good. Now this one I've been waiting on so long. This is Children of Vengeance and Virtue. And of course this is by Tomi Adeyemi. And this is book 2 from Children of Blood and Bone that everyone and their mama has been waiting on. And so I haven't started reading it yet because I'm finishing up some other publisher reads right now. But this is what I'm so excited about, getting back into this story. I won't tell you anything about it because if you haven't read book 1, you are tripping and you need to go and do that right now. Okay, and so this one everyone knows about, has heard about. This is Circe, and this is by Madeline Miller. Now I have not, yeah, you see that gold cover, it's pretty dope. So I have not really had the chance to kind of dig deep into this one because for me it didn't really gravitate. But since everyone is saying that it's so classic and they love it, I figured, you know what, pick it up. You can't go wrong if a lot of people love it. You'll end up liking it even if it's not kind of your original thing that you would read. So I picked up Circe by Madeline Miller. The next one up that I have is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. And Wicked Saints is kind of like this, it gives you such a good vibe, right? Because the cover is amazing. It's like old world vampire in London type vibe. And so I immediately gravitated towards it and wanted to see what it was about. And so the storyline follows a prince, a girl, and a monster. And so what they're trying to do is have like some type of passionate, romantic but dark environment in this book. And so it really spoke to me. I don't actually know what it's about. I love going in blind to these types of things. And so super excited to get into this one. And the last one on my list is The Night Circus. This is also one of those that I saw everyone falling in love with and saying that it was the classic and one that they would always have on their best reads list. So I thought I should pick it up and maybe take some time to read it. Other than that, that's all I know about it, is that it follows some type of circus and things are happening each night before this circus. So don't know much. I'm going to dive right on in when I get the chance and see if I love it as much as everyone else. So those are all the books that I purchased while I was getting ready for my quarantine. Some have been shipped in, some I picked up at Barnes & Noble before all of this stuff happened. And some of the things were sent by publishers, of course. So I'm excited to start reading. If you guys like, comment, and subscribe below, I hope that you keep following the channel as I bring about books that you maybe have never heard of and books that you have. So, great channel, very different out here on BookTube, and I'm hoping that I'm filling a niche for you guys, that you see some new stuff that you don't normally get to see. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. You can follow the book reviews in writing on ragingbookraeviews.com, and you can follow me, author TR Horn, on all the platforms. Other than that, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!